We're live.
So, in 2003, they found the tomb of Gilgamesh.
What? In 2003?
Bro, we're in Iraq for oil, yes.
Yes.
Not disputing that.
No.
But I think we're also there to fucking knock some buildings down and
Really?
fucking break some shit. Bro, so they apparently, the story of Gilgamesh is that they buried him underneath the Euphrates River. And I guess...
Oh, but because the Euphrates is dropping water level?
And
fucking
all
drying
around
up?
this grave, this burial site, they literally found the other things referenced in the story. Like, garden here, this here, stable here, house here. And it was like, all right. So, the only thing I don't give a fuck about it is that there's a video out where apparently it's showing you Gilgamesh in the tomb, and it's like not a skeleton. It's like a man. So I don't understand how the fuck 6,000 years...
What does that mean? Like it's a body?
He looks like beautifully... It looks like cryogenically frozen. So I'm like, I don't know what the fuck that is. I could give two shits about that thing.
Stop. Really?
Yeah, that meant nothing to me, truthfully.
Yeah, but how are people in this tomb? So the Euphrates River dropped in level.
Or I think it moved the way the Nile moved.
So now some dude just stumbled upon Gilgamesh's tomb and he went in there with a video?
So the video is like debated if it's real or not. The guy whose video I was watching leaned towards thinking it was true, but I didn't hear any evidence of like any special preservation methods that would have led me to think like, oh, okay. Because I mean...
That's a long fucking time. Didn't they also think this man was a myth?
No, Gilgamesh is the one they think is real because even though... They think all the other names on the Sumerian king list are myth because of how crazy they are, but then Gilgamesh is, like, in real history also. So then it fucks them up where they're like, all right, he's the real, he's real, but all the other ones are made up. And so, what are we doing, bro?
How long did Gilgamesh reign? Isn't that like 200 years or some shit?
Do you know what the story of Gilgamesh is? That's supposedly, like, the first story that we have in literature. And all it is he's the great king. The gods think he's too arrogant. They send the wild man after him to beat him. They start fighting. He realizes that they have more in common as two people who love the fight than they should be friends rather than enemies, because now they can just fight over and over again and like fight other people together. Which is also the story of Shiva and his and then the thunder god. I can't think of his name right now. It starts with an I believe. But then the two of them go on, do great adventures together.
Yeah.
Then the wild man who he befriends dies, and it makes Gilgamesh realize that he too himself will die at some point. So then he goes on more adventures trying to seek how to solve death. And he starts reflecting on what is it to be human and what is it to live life and what are these accomplishments.
That's the Epic of Gilgamesh?
The first fucking story. They're trying to say that the first story a motherfucker decided to write down is like the greatest, like the thing that we all feel. It's like the
pondering human life.
The most hero's journey shit of like they go on a great adventure. He befriends someone. It's literally the most archetypal fucking story. And they're like, yeah, they came out of the caves and they were like,
I got an idea.
Let me drop these fucking jewels on your ass.
Yeah, some dude was stuck in a cave just jerking off thinking about what he can fucking write. And he's like, I got an idea.
Yeah, everyone could fuck right off with that.
That's fucked up. So he reigned for... Yeah, let's see how long this man lived for. Because I know some of them...
His reign was 200 years.
200 years.
Let's go Sumerian king list.
Yeah. Because if he's correct, like if he's there,
you know what's on his earrings in all the carvings of him? Guess what's on? He's got 5 things hanging off his hoop earrings.
5 things.
They're all the same thing, but 5 of them.
What is it?
Pine cones. Suck my motherfucking dick.
Suck my cock. All you fucking archaeologists, suck my cock.
Yeah, no. Everyone can fuck right off.
No, and this is what I don't get. Like, this is never taken into consideration. There's fucking pine cones everywhere.
I also...
The fucking Pope has one on his goddamn staff.
I kind of... Yeah, he does. You know, there's so many goddamn, like, griffins and sphinxes that are then, like, holding these fucking things.
I saw some video where they showed the Sphinx pre-reconstruction, and they
what they think it looks like?
They said it was a dog, like one of those.
Like Anubis. I always see that. Yeah. Bullshit.
I don't like it.
They always say that.
No, it's bull. Why would it have the body of a lion? You fucking idiot.
That's like...
Head's disproportionate.
See, we were talking about this the other day, and I hate to say it. It's not going to be true all the time, but this is the reason why I don't click on videos like this that maybe a girl is doing. Because I feel like they go like, it's obviously Anubis. And it's like, no, you just said that.
You're a dumb bitch.
You didn't... the age of Leo.
Yeah, no.
John Anthony West.
Yeah, I don't get that.
Robert Schoch.
No, especially when, like...
I expect that TikTok type person just to be like, they have Anubises, that's what it is. And that's like their argument.
But then there's no argument to, like, why it has the head, why it has the body of a lion, why the head is why are they going to make everything so goddamn perfect? But then this head is disproportionate and fucking... Is the head perfectly symmetrical?
Bro, not to take it to Tartaria already. You want to look at the New York Stock Exchange building?
Yeah, put it up. Pull it up.
Which apparently, the New York Stock Exchange...
Maybe save this tab. We'll probably go back to this.
Leave that up. The New York Stock Exchange came into being... So America gets made in 1776, right?
Greatest year of the world.
Before 1800 rolls around, we've got the stock exchange.
Crazy. Really?
It
was that early?
Before 1800 hits, we had a stock exchange.
New stock, new year. Huh. That's the building? Looks like the Parthenon.
Yeah. Tartaria. Bro. These things are fucking everywhere.
Damn.
Bro, and you know what the common denominator is on who moves into these type of buildings? The ones they don't knock down, the ones they leave standing?
Who?
Banks, politicians. Those are the two people.
Because that's why they say the Capitol
those who
building
came in first.
That's why they say the Capitol building, the White House, and all that shit is leftover buildings.
I don't know if they say DC's leftover or if they made it, because I think DC was made recently enough that they still have like the plannings of it. But I think they also openly admit to saying like,
I mean, they renovated the White House. They tore a bunch of shit down in the 40s or 50s.
But I mean, I don't think they're shy about saying like, yeah, we made like an obelisk.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, like. We're doing this kind of in the spirit of like some Greek, Egypt era shit.
That's fucked up. Zoom in on that picture. We didn't go down Wall Street when we were in New York.
Yeah, why would we?
I don't know.
But yeah, with the most expensive square footage in the fucking world, where every place gets knocked down to make a skyscraper in the place of, they're gonna leave this fucking
short building.
8 stories or whatever it is.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, 8.
Oof, nice.
Yeah,
good. two skyscrapers next to it.
That's crazy.
And you're gonna leave that fucking again carving. Look,
is that Wall Street?
Yeah, I think.
Which is interesting because if you see those, zoom in on that again. Zoom in. Give me a zoom in on that. If you see the, you could see the. You could see go down. Show me the road. You could see the remnants of the wall. There was a wall down Wall Street. That's why they called it Wall Street. I didn't know that.
No, I'm trying to look at this shit.
Yeah, dude, that's fucked up. What is that? What does that mean? So this building was built in 17 something. When was it built? Look it up.
So, when did they say it's built?
Yeah, when is the stock exchange built? 2007.
Says okay, so
founded
1792. So that's what I'm saying.
230 years ago.
That was what I was referencing. But is that what they're also? Are they admitting to that being when it was built? Yeah, look at it. This is when they're saying they put this up. Get the fuck.
Stock
It's not even the
Exchange,
same fucking thing.
10 to 12 Broad Street.
Broad Street.
Broad Street. Broad Street. Broadway.
Thank you.
Fuck.
Several locations were used between 1817 and 1865 when the present location was adopted. When was this fucking thing built? How do you type
This
that
building.
in? Huh?
When was this building built? Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. How do you type?
Is there an address?
Ooh, good.
An ice exchange. Ice. La migra. No ice. Yeah, I saw some video of this dude trying to get an interview with this Mexican worker guy. And he was like, hey, do you want to do an interview? And he goes, no. Fucking, it's deportation. I'm not doing no interview. And he slips him like a $5 bill and he goes, hello, my name is Luis. Yeah, when's that shit?
Okay, so I was built in 1922. Okay, go to images. Because 1922, we got cameras. Why don't I have one fucking picture of it being built? I have a drawing.
They say it was built in 1922.
I don't have a picture of it being built.
What's that? Right there.
Which one?
The black and white went down. No. Fuck. That dark one. What is that? Oh, that's just a dark photo. Never mind. Scroll down a little bit. Maybe see being built. Yeah. Huh.
Yeah, It's 1922 already. We got cameras. They got cameras of the fucking World's Fair in the 1800s and shit. There's not going to be a picture of this.
There's photos of the Civil War.
Not
There's
one
photos of like all the.
fucking picture.
You ever see
of the
those photos?
Stock exchange. Yeah. People got beards.
That's the takeaway. They got beards, man.
They're scraggly as hell.
No, it's fucked up.
So you're telling me I can't find the Google machine doesn't have one picture of this thing being built, and you're saying it happened in 1922?
Look up New York Stock Exchange Tartaria. Because what's the whole Tartaria? I still haven't done much research.
Listen, Tartaria used to be, I guess, Tartaria used to be like where Russia is now.
Russia and China.
Yeah.
It was that area.
That area. And they were this empire.
And then they spanned it over. What's the years on this?
I guess it's
Did it
pretty
span over-
recently, bro. I don't know enough about today is my off day, so probably going to lose today to that.
Yeah.
I've been working, and I haven't had enough time to dedicate myself to
It's
looking
rough.
into it. And fucking work. And
Don't even think about it.
flashes.
Don't even think about it.
But Tartaria, you got an advanced empire, and obviously everyone back in the day has all this tremendous architecture.
Yeah.
Like
It's
whether
in ancient times, too.
whether it be that they have these like crazy big block walls at all these different areas, or
Yeah.
if it's pyramids here, and here, or even just taking it to like this level. Let's not leave all that stuff on one side of things.
Yeah.
Because that could be like big vibrations to move big blocks.
Yeah, like megaliths and stuff.
We're talking just, more like the Egypt, Greek, Roman, like sculpting, these big ornate, beautiful buildings and stuff. It's like, all right, so
Marble statues.
we agree that like they can do that. Okay. So I guess what they're saying is that Tartaria was a culture that could do that as well, but I guess in relative recency, I'm guessing like it seems like the 1600s from like the maps
Okay.
I'm seeing.
So 1600s to like
15, 1600s.
to like 1940. Or no.
No. Jesus.
No.
Because Russia exists by that.
Yeah,
or
at
Soviet
that
Union
point.
and shit. Yeah.
So like up until Soviet Union or like the czars of
Because
Russia.
I think the world's still got to be a little bit broken up. So it's like 1500s, 1600s, 1700s, Tartaria, Greater Tartar, or yeah, they're referred to as like Tartars.
steak tartare.
And I think they're like, potentially racially like ambiguous. I think they kind of might be like a group of like people who left other places.
Wait, hold on. Didn't you say Mongol? Like Attila the Hun was part of
Genghis
Tartary?
Khan.
Genghis Khan.
Apparently, Genghis Khan is one of their kings.
When did he rule?
Again, I haven't looked into it enough. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. keep talking.
So from what I've heard, there was like some, I don't know if it was rebellion. It's hard too because you don't know when the Schmear campaign starts. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because they're trying to erase him at some point. So it's like you don't know when the turn happens and when you can and can't believe shit. But they definitely had a place called Tartaria and shit.
Yeah.
Like that's on all the maps. I guess that's just what it was called back in the day.
Genghis Khan was born 1162.
So I guess by the time 1500s, 1600s rolls around is when it's like
On the
winding down.
maybe because that's when the keep going.
That's when the Schmear campaign hits.
When did the czars come?
So you got a Tartarian empire in places like Turkmenistan that has all those crazy buildings and shit.
Yeah.
You got
Well, that dude built them. I'm sorry. Keep going.
that one might be like,
That's more. He's like a dictator. He doesn't let
Yeah.
anybody in. He doesn't let anybody out.
and
He builds
did
like
shit,
these.
in
Yeah, he builds
inspiration of those other things.
exactly. Yeah, he built this big ass like empty city with
Mhm.
like yeah. He's a big fan of world records. Has like the biggest
Yeah.
indoor Ferris wheel.
Which good for him.
I think it's impressive.
So they got all those places like that over there
Yeah.
that are allegedly older. They got all these places throughout Europe because Ukraine apparently was like little Tartaria. So they got all these places with these beautiful fucking architecture, and a lot of them all have these like, antenna. And the general consensus is that they had access to free energy. Because again, 1776 hits, America happens.
Yes.
Before 1800 hits, stock exchange, banks. Like, obviously they had banks, but like American banks now.
Mhm.
In league with the British bankers. Then, after that, that's when you get fucking like train, car, phone, plane.
So what they're saying is they invaded and demolished Tartaria, stole all of its technology.
I don't know if they
because
stole
knew,
it or
because they
if
knew
they
that-
already had it, and then Tartaria discovered it on their own, and they were like, they're not ready for it yet. Again, I'm new to this.
You're new to this.
We're learning.
What it seems like, we're learning.
We're playing with
that's What it
ideas.
is. It's fine. Now, what it seems like is this, because you brought up like the treasure ships, like this great nation had all this technology, and they would send out these ships to developing nations
That's
to get
what
them bumped
I-
up and started, and they had free energy. Maybe,
History says this about China with the treasure ships.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing. So then it's
Maybe
like,
they're
whoa,
trying to-
Russia, China. Maybe it's same.
maybe they're trying to get like widen their free energy grid, much like how the ancients did with like the pyramids and all that shit. Maybe they want that to be global, but no one's really jumping on. So then at some point,
That's a good point.
other nations start like getting bigger, a little bigger, a little bigger. They get banks, they get this, they get that, and the other, and then they realize that capitalism and owning things is the way to go, not giving it away for free.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe they see this nation
Because
giving out all
things
this free
away
shit.
for free only works if everyone's doing it. But if you're
Exactly.
just getting taken advantage of by
Yeah.
everyone else who's like,
Exactly. And now Britain or Rome or whoever's
Yeah,
in
all
charge
these
at that
evil
point
fucks.
is like, you know what? We're gonna control this shit. We're gonna control history. We're gonna control power because we know that. I guess no power. I mean, shit. Why wasn't there power then until?
well, that's what they're saying is that like,
Or they just shut it down and said we don't need that shit.
dude, you know what?
That's witchcraft. Maybe that's when the Vatican started doing shit because it said the first czars started ruling in Russia in 862.
What's that do?
That's like when Russia turned into a monarchy.
Mm.
That's like their royal family.
Gotcha.
Which I thought all the royal families throughout Europe and Asia and the world were placed in from the Vatican.
Mm-hmm.
But hey, I don't know.
Because there was that one thing that showed how, kind of like all the monarchs of Europe and the ancient world back then were related, were traced back to that one family that had traces of like that fucking big head shit
from that clan, that one clan. Everything traces back to, and then the first Queen of England, who I believe was appointed by or was considered noble from the Vatican or some shit. I think I could be bullshitting. She then placed her children in like, here, you're gonna be the queen of Scandinavia. You're gonna be the queen of Russia. You're gonna be the king of this. You're gonna do this. You're gonna do this, and like place them in all these big families around the world to like spread that DNA and like to keep everything fucking tight. It's muffed up.
Disgusting.
It's disgusting.
No, but I mean, you find these places, bro. You see, like, I can't get over the fucking them saying like we built all this shit out of plaster.
Oh, at the World's Fair.
Well, that was the other. That was the other fucking.
That was the other crazy thing you were saying. You were saying at the World's Fair in like the 1800s to 19. I guess it still goes on. I don't fucking know.
But yeah, but you wonder now if it's not happening because it's like,
why not? We'll keep it up. But you were saying the World's Fair, everything up until World War II, was they would invite all these countries in with their fucking beautiful, like the one in San Francisco was on like Paradise or Treasure Island, they called it, or some shit, and they just built these massive fucking pyres with
the one was 650 acres or some shit like that.
Yeah. And they just like
fucking everyone bringing their tech. No one has a goddamn light bulb yet, or like the light bulb's the newest thing.
Yeah.
There's not just, you'd think that would be like the one big thing. 650 acres of people with their fucking
flying machines and fucking other shit and like just crazy technology.
You know what else?
But then you were saying that those were all, they invited all these people over here to then grab it, suppress it, kill the people.
Yeah, pick your poison.
And then because they had them where all those Tartarian buildings were, they built these, because there were real buildings, and they built these, like, plaster, like, bullshit skeletons of buildings, you said.
Yeah, they did a few of those just so there's evidence of people being like, yeah, we built plaster building, you know. Yeah. It's like, all right, cool.
And then they level the entire place.
Right, including the ones that were there already, except for leaving maybe, like, one, and then they put a fucking bank or some shit in it.
Interesting. And then that's why,
like
that's why World War II, all the bombing raids and shit.
Dude.
Because why are they going to level entire cities?
Why are we going to blow up fucking shit? Like, we have drones. You're telling me, like, we're going to keep blowing up schools and shit? Like, instead of, like, the guy we want, and we keep missing and hitting schools, like...
Oh, I was saying, like, during
I know, World War II, but I'm saying it's, like, the modern-day equivalent. Yeah, like, we still just fuck up, like... We never got better after World War II about, like, not getting innocent people killed. We just still are like, pew!
Yeah, it's fucked up.
Took out a sector of the country, like, oh, whoops. We had to be sure.
Yeah.
It's like, no, you could have put a goddamn sniper in there and took dude out.
I was listening to this one dude, and it's funny you said that. It was on this, like, military guy who was part of, like, in like, those AC-130s that would just, like, like the air support planes. He was in, like, this plane, and they were saying that there's some shit going on, blah, blah, blah. You got to take out this building. You got to take out this building. And he's like, or I guess he saw fire and he was like, fuck, all right, we got to do it. He got permission. Fucking blows this building up. Finds out it was a school. And he was just fucked up. Just talking about it on YouTube. Mm-hmm. Just fucked up. And it's like, damn, they didn't fucking know on the ground that like, oh, hey, by the way, don't blow up this building.
Right. Hey, this one, steer clear.
I don't know. Then it goes into, like, no one listens to Putin, which, I mean, you probably shouldn't. But when he was saying, when he came out and he was saying that the fucking...
it wasn't, like...
The ones in Syria when they were jackhammering all the faces off those monuments.
He goes, do people think this is, like... You think this is the work of people in caves? You think this is, like, Al-Qaeda who just came... people.
They're wearing military gear. They have cranes and fucking
Yeah,
excavators.
they have cranes and excavators. They're driving in military formation, like
Yeah.
full, like it's not like a band of.
Yeah, it's not a band
militia.
of rebels. Yeah.
It's a hired fucking group of mercenaries to be like, destroy the statues.
It's like the same thing. It's like the same thing when all the riots were going on during, what was it, 2020, 2019, or 21?
Did you see what came out? I guess the FBI was in the crowd at January 6th and helped to incite it.
No shit.
It's like what's just coming out now.
See? And it's fucked up. Because it's like, why wouldn't they? Why wouldn't they want that?
That adds up with every other thing they've ever fucking done.
Like during the riots, they were placing those fucking pallets of bricks on the corners of the streets. And then everybody's
fireworks and that one. Yeah.
And people are protesting like peacefully, which we have the right to do, and you can't shut that down. And then these people in government gear come in, they start throwing bricks through windows, doing shit, fucking inciting riot, busting up ATMs and breaking into buildings and looting. So then other people start joining in with them. And now the police have a reason to go in and shut down a peaceful protest. Because these people probably never looted. It's like these people were. So now we just say, fuck it. Everybody's going to jail. Shut it down.
And now
Black Lives Matter. That's a violent organization.
Yeah, now you can put the headlines of whatever you want up.
Violent group started.
White, this versus that. Cops versus black people. Cops versus.
Started out as a peaceful protest. Black Lives Matter started looting. It's like, oh. So that's and then every other fuck at home who's watching whatever biased news channel they want to watch, they're both saying the same thing, and they're going, huh. That is a terrible, all lives matter. Fuck them. That's fucking bullshit.
And then someone hears
and then
all
there's
lives
just,
matter, but then
and it just fucking peels
they're
this
used to
divide.
what people usually mean when they say it, and then
it's like, no, that was made to bash this. Like Blue Lives Matter was made to bash that.
But then someone doesn't necessarily know that when they say it. They're like, no, Black Lives Matter, Blue Lives Matter.
Yeah.
Like,
what do you mean? It's a team. Yeah. And then you're ripping this fucking divide apart. And that's where even, who's the dude I like on Rogan? The CIA guy.
Baker.
Yeah, Mike Baker. Great guy. He was saying that, like, Black Lives Matter, Blue Lives Matter, all those things, like, maybe not the Black Lives Matter one, but, like, the the retaliations to that, to then like divide a nation, like the start of the Blue Lives Matter, the start of all life. Apparently those just started out on like Facebook meme accounts,
how many Russian
that originated in Russia and China and all these other places, and it's like
that's the scariest thing to me, the Russian like meme bot things where people just get on and like cause arguing online. That's like the modern day equivalent of like when people would get on the phone and scam old people out of their like retirement money. But this is like on so much greater proportions.
Like, I mean, look at over the years. How divided is this country?
Yeah, bro. Like, it's very odd.
And people want to blame Trump and some other shit. And it's like, sure, maybe that happened, but it's like there wouldn't be such a big divide if just the party system wasn't, or just like all this bullshit of like divide and conquer
and the media, because again, like,
well, that's the other thing. It's
so
the media
far down their path, and they don't have to listen to where these people are at, and you get so down the line. So then, when someone says something about Trump, about how divisive he is, and you push back, and you go, "Well, I don't know. I think it was coming to a head before Trump. Things were getting kind of dicey, and then maybe he was like
the fucking asshole."
Oh, you like Trump? It's like, no, I mean, I'm just. Wouldn't you think it's like the system that allowed him to be elected that's the issue more than like him himself? It's like, no, it's the people that voted for him. It's like, well, enough people didn't like your guy, so like clearly something's not right there.
Oh, well, it was rigged. He had assistance from Russia.
But then we wasted how long finding out that he didn't?
Yeah, it's like, but what about Hunter in Ukraine?
Oh, the Ukraine. You mean Lesser Tartaria?
Yeah. It's fucking
Kiev, one of the greatly preserved cities.
It's fucking bullshit. No, it's so crazy. And then people don't realize that all these fucking media companies, all these news channels, all these things that are supposed to pump you your non-biased information, they're all owned by the fucking 3 corporations at the tip top, And then the
Who
owners
also finance
and then-
the World Fairs.
and then the owners of those corporations are on the board in these fucking think tanks that all are on the same page.
Oh, yeah.
So they all meet at these think tanks, like the Council on Foreign Relations, Trilateral Commission, the Bilderberg Group, all this bullshit.
the Roman Club.
Yeah, they get all, the Club of Rome, they get all on the same page and they go, cool, now go back to your CEO job and fucking control these goddamn animals. So now someone on Fox is interviewing a liberal dude from CEN, but the liberal dude and the Fox dude both work for these people up here. So now
Yeah,
they're
it's a
just
jerk job.
So they're just interviewing themselves to
Fucking-
push whatever bullshit narrative the guy on top has to work or wants.
Two of them just pushing buttons.
Yeah, duh.
Wrong.
Nice. Fucking dumb. Get heated.
Hey, it is what it is.
That's what happens when Nick's not on the pod. He's the fair and balanced.
Nick goes, well, do you have any proof or evidence of anything? I go, listen, man. You give me proof or evidence
You give
of
me
the
proof
opposite.
that it's wrong.
Yeah.
Because everything I watch, it shows it's true.
Listen, I don't want any of this to be true.
Bro, the one fucking, whatever the, I don't know if she's a Republican or a Democrat. I don't fucking know. But it's a woman running for president. And I fucking search her name.
Is that Tulsi Gabbard?
Maybe. I don't know. She's on the Council on Foreign Relations.
Oh, really? Then probably not.
Or there's like fucking they're writing articles about her. Oh, she's good, blah, 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 blah. Not that it even fucking matters, like the primary votes or anything, because they're just picking the people. Everybody on that goddamn stage is like part of the agenda. If not, maybe one person, but that motherfucker's on the end, almost falling off the stage by the primaries.
Bro, it was so funny listening to how much some of those people at work would be going off about like how much they care about shit, and then they'd be like, "Yeah, I'm gonna mail in my ballot." And be like,
Yeah. What?
"Cool."
You fucking idiot.
I mean, I guess.
Not that it even matters.
I mean,
but-
yeah. It's what am I doing? Computer, like,
yeah, duh.
like. So I'm not saying it like that, but I mean, it's literally
the whole-
a letter could literally just like get lost.
But the whole voting, like, I don't know if you voted for the last one, but I went in
My
and voted.
mom traded me for food.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I go in and
The
fucking
Trumpster got an
Yeah.
easy vote
an easy vote on that
for
one.
bagels.
Yeah. But no, I went in there, you fucking vote, and then you go to this room and you hand it to a person, and they go, cool. And they put in this machine and
they
it goes
judge
and
you.
it goes cha-ching. And then I don't know if it pops out or it gets saved in there or some shit, but it's like, all right, I was in a programming class. When you didn't want a certain thing to go through, you just wrote an if statement. And it was if person checks box A, delete.
Mm-hmm.
It's not fucking hard.
Yeah.
So it's like, unless you're
Or
sitting
you
there.
can put like a cap on it where it's like, yeah,
Yeah.
give them this many votes, but like after that, just stop counting them.
Yeah, stop counting them. Or if this happens, then switch it to this.
Right.
It's like, it doesn't fucking matter. Like, the whole thing is
Once
bullshit.
that thing's in the thing, it's gone.
That's all bullshit.
You can count these things by hand.
Yeah, you're not doing that. I don't know.
Although it would provide a lot of Americans with good work.
It would. Paying good money. You know you get paid a shitload of money to stand at those voting booths?
I mean, I bet you got to be willing to not go around telling people's votes. So I
Yeah.
guess you got to make it worth people's while.
Oh, I would get their ticket and go, huh? I bet.
Yeah,
Hey.
could have guessed.
Saw that coming. You
No.
fucking lib.
No surprise there, Mary.
This is a Republican podcast. Fair and balanced. Much like Fox.
I'm an independent brother.
Nah, we don't give a shit about it.
I'm
I
a
don't give a-
liberal until I hope to. What's that? The quote?
I don't give a fucking shit about anything.
Yeah. Well, obviously that. I just get that tattooed on my forehead. Yeah, I don't give a fucking shit about anything.
God.
No, there's a good quote about like I'm a liberal, and I hope to one day be a conservative.
Really?
Where it's like I want all these things to change, but I do have like a point of hoping like it gets to like a good spot. Doesn't just
Yeah.
like have to keep changing forever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
As like I don't know. Someone said that. I was like, that's a good perspective. You're not just like, no, there always needs to be a new thing. Yeah.
They're all assholes.
Like, no, yeah. Like, you feel this way until you get what you want. And it's like, well, now, yeah, conservative. It's like a perspective. It's not like a camp.
Either that or a money thing. When you get a certain amount of money, people tend to lean more conservative.
Well, I think that's just for like the one aspect, probably. It's not like you're like all of a sudden trying to be like, you know what? These are good Jesus-loving folks.
These are good people.
You're just like, well, yeah, I need the
I too
taxes.
worship the sun.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah. No, taxes.
How much more sense would the world make if instead of in every church, it was people bowing 3 times a day to like a god, or people going to church every Sunday to worship a god?
Yeah.
And it's like, no, like we
what if the church
give praise to the sun?
What
it's
if
like,
the
oh yeah, that makes sense.
What if the church just had like a glass dome, and it was just always the sun
and
was
everyone
always
melted?
Yeah,
every
like
every
a magnifying glass.
Jesus Christ. No, but like
no, shit does make sense. But at that point where it's like, oh, so if we just stuck with like the shit like that, I wonder if people would be.
Because how unified would you be? Even if you could still bow 3 times a day or go to church on Sunday or whatever. Do it however you want, but you're still all doing the same thing.
Yeah, it's the same fucking thing.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what church you go to, where you fucking go, what happens, what you're doing.
Who's gonna be like anti that? Who's gonna be like, yeah, I'm not gonna. You're gonna have like your punk
I don't
people
believe
that
in the fucking sun.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like what, that thing that keeps us alive?
You could choose to not pray to it or whatever if you want, but you're not gonna like.
It doesn't matter.
You're not
going
to get told how smart you are for like disagreeing with like clearly the Bible's made up. Like, oh wow, what a scholar you are.
No, or even just like go back to like the ancient shit where it's like, okay, maybe you just strip the names off of it and it's like, no. We literally just pray to the sun and whatever higher being put it there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Aztecs, sun religion.
That fucked my head up once where they were like, someone was talking about the possibility of like a god or what a god would be. And it's like, someone said, when you build a computer, you're building a computer, you program all this stuff, you put all the pieces together, and then say you program like an AI to live in the computer. The AI may think, or like if you put some sentient in or whatever, and it's like, oh, it may, like in that small scale, the God, like if you're playing God because you built that thing, you never step foot in there. You never like, you may interact with it and like move things around, but that would all just be natural in the confines of the computer. So it's like, wouldn't a God on our level be doing the same thing where it's like, you'll never see this motherfucker. You'll never even have evidence that he exists because everything is built so perfectly, but it's just like building a computer.
It was just like Matrix at that point, right?
Exactly. That's what it went into, where it was like, oh, so what if a god built our universe and it started at the Big Bang or some bullshit? That was the on switch. They turned it on. They just flipped the switch, turned it on. But then what about his universe? What about that person's universe?
Well,
like,
these are the
like where
thoughts
they
that
live.
kept me up at night as a child. Who's
Yeah.
God's God?
Yeah. But then you get into that level of civilization where it's like you get from tier 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And once you hit tier 6, you're aware of a tier 7, but you'll have no way of achieving it because that's the creation tier.
Well, how
that's
are
the
you
tier
gonna
that created everybody below it.
How are you going to get to that tier when we can't even get to the next tier because I'm too busy drinking fucking tap water? My pineal gland's gone to shit.
My fucking pineal gland.
I used to think about cool things, and then it stopped.
You ever meditate?
Not lately. When I used to like work out, I would because you're like in
Sometimes.
that mindset.
And I don't know if it's just in my head or some shit. Sometimes I would sit down and like meditate. Like you get some good incense going, you smoke a little dab.
Charles said incense.
Yeah. And you sit there and you smoke, or you sit there and you just like focus on breathing or nothing or some
hashish.
bullshit. Yeah. And then I swear to God, I get like a pressure behind my eyes, and then I get like a pressure right here. And I don't know if that's just in my head or some shit, or it's like, but in my head, I'm like, decalcifying the pineal gland.
I mean, I definitely think you can like focus energy at it for sure. Another thing, energy is like another thing hijacked by fucking bitches with green hair and shit.
Oh, it's like stone. Like, yeah.
Astrology.
I would love
stones.
Yeah. Me and Christian were talking about this.
Crystals.
I would love to like look into crystals because I feel like there is something with like this natural.
Of course.
Of course, there's something with like that or a triangle or.
But
a
then if I
pyramid.
say that I'm a fucking fag because some fucking big-titted bitch is like, oh, you need your quartz for that, and I have to listen to what's her. I can't. She listens to it now. We could probably say it. No one's getting halfway into this.
I mean, you don't know. You don't know. A lot of people are listening to this. A lot of people we know are listening to this now.
The person we've been complaining about a lot. She's like, well, I have to have my stone in my.
I don't know. I was making ambiguous. Keep
Oh,
going.
I thought you were. Never
No,
mind.
I know what you were doing. Keep going.
Because I was gonna say not that person. No.
Wrong.
Yeah.
Wrong.
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 But yeah, for someone who
No.
melts down 7 times a day, it's hilarious to be like, yeah, I have to have this on me. It's like, to do what? Like,
Yeah.
it's not keeping you from
Shove it up
melting
your
down.
ass.
Yeah.
No. It's hard to look up because I've tried looking up where it's like, I think we were in the mall or some shit. And we walked by like a crystal shop, which how that's a fucking business is amazing to me.
All these places.
How these places have funding and they're allowed to fucking make a living and own a house owning a fucking bullshit crystal shop in the mall. It's amazing to me.
Yeah, like,
But I walked in there.
What's the average dollar amount per transaction?
That's what
I
I
wonder.
mean.
Is it like 5 people who come in, but they get so sold on like $3,000 crystals or something?
That's what I mean. So it's like 10 people floating your entire business,
Right.
Or is it a bunch of people going in and being like, "Oh, this is cool. This is cool. This is cool."
Is
this
there
cool,
really
this is
that
cool,
big a
this is
market
cool.
for it?
Or are people just straight up buying into it? But like you go and you see all these different minerals and all these crystals, and it's like, oh, I wonder what that technically does. And you go to look up like the fucking meaning behind shit, and yeah, it's just 1,000 websites of some bitch, some blue-haired chick being like, oh, well, this actually is good
It's
for
really
your
good for your spirit.
Yeah, it's good for anxiety. It's good for that, and it's like,
Yeah, everything's good for anxiety. I mean,
It's
well,
like they didn't-
everyone still has anxiety. I love that.
yeah, that doesn't
Every
make sense.
fucking thing I see is anti-anxiety, and everyone's
people
a
that are-
fucking mess.
The people that were like that are like the most in tune with all of like their chakras and bulls. They're
Yeah.
the most anxious motherfuckers you
Yeah,
ever fucking
exactly.
meet.
Again, same person has their
I need my.
same person has their dream catcher
I need
in
my-
the
yeah.
vault, and it's like, maybe go take that home. Maybe see if that clears up some shit. Maybe sleep with that because it's not doing you any good here.
No, but then like but then you get to page fucking 15 and it goes.
Devastating. She found.
That's what I mean. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
Wrong.
I have to bleep half this shit. And if not, someone else is gonna see it. Send it to people. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, man, we're gonna go for an extra 15. Cut it out. But no, and then you get to page 10, and it's like, oh, what the ancients thought about quartz.
Yeah,
Or what this.
exactly.
And it's like, no, this is what I want. I want to know what the Paiute
The people
tribe.
that used it every fucking day and would know what it meant and
Yeah.
why it had that meaning.
Wait till Dr. Colvert. What's his name? Sitar? Senji. Your colleague.
Dr. Roberto Cantu?
Dr. Roberto Cantu. Wait till he's on the pod. I hope he's listening. If anybody's listening, I hope he's listening.
Please, doctor.
Dr. Roberto Cantu, we're calling it out now. Episode, I don't even remember right
Ooh.
now.
I'm gonna get Mexican food after this. Cut that.
Cut that.
I didn't like that.
This I like.
That was real and not meant to be funny. I didn't like how that went.
Vape's dead.
Podcast's pretty much over then.
Yeah, it's pretty much
You're out of juice.
pretty much done.
Does it charge?
No. Yeah, it does charge, but I'll charge it later. It's fine.
What are you talking about?
Dr. Roberto Cantu, our colleague.
I have
colleague
reached
at
out.
the
Well, that's what I brought up
University
here.
of Southern California.
Black obsidian. The Aztec shamans would stare into black obsidian because they believed that that's like the door to the spirit realm, I think, if I'm not mistaken. And that was what the one, not Quetzalcoatl, but one of his brothers, there's 4 of them,
Yes.
but him and his nemesis one.
Oh,
He
I
was said-
can't remember his name. Yeah, I
Yeah,
can't say it.
Yeah. I had it for 2 weeks.
It's
I
like-
could basically pronounce that
like
shit good.
So I don't fucking know. Keep going.
Tetzalpodal or whatever. Yeah,
Yeah, I
it's
don't know.
tough. But apparently he could see all the world through Black Obsidian from his home, like in the spirit realm or whatever. So I guess the shamans would like stare into it and
That's cool.
reflect. So I'll probably be getting a fucking Black
Get
Obsidian.
a black
mirror.
obsidian table.
Lay on.
Dude, you know what I learned? I was watching some video, and this dude was in, I think, Teotihuacan, or he was in another Mayan, maybe Chichen Itza. I can't remember, but they had these like ponds on the ground, and this one guy is like, he's with a guide, and they're sitting there looking into this pond, and he's like, "What do you think this is used for?" And the guy's like, probably washing water, whatnot. And he goes, "No, it's a window." He's like, "Window," and he looks, and you could see the sky, and it's like, oh, of course you wouldn't look
Crane
at
your neck,
stars
yeah.
like this and fucking figure shit out. No, you would look into a pond because a pond stays stationary.
Right.
So now you know what constellation is above you.
Mm-hmm.
So as the constellations are moving and you're looking in this pond every day, you then see like Leo again or something, and you go, pattern, and then you write that down.
You have a fixed
Yeah.
location
Yeah.
now. And you're not just putting your head up
And
wherever.
the shamans would fucking just have books and sit there and just chart the sky and like what stars are in that time of the day or that time of night.
Makes sense why star charts are usually circle then.
Mm-hmm. Isn't that crazy?
Pretty good.
I would love to just stand there and I wonder what that's like, especially with zero light pollution.
You know what else I was looking into a little bit with the Tartarian thing that I just found interesting? Like, so apparently, and again, this could be just bullshit that someone could call me out on immediately because I've not looked into it
But
yet.
fuck them.
So I don't know. But yeah,
we're talking. Fuck them.
we're having a conversation. You're listening to it.
It's fine. We live in hypotheticals in the Stone Date Pod.
We named our podcast after a theory proven untrue.
Yeah, we gotta change the name. It's all right. We can't advertise.
When we think of a better name, we got to change it. We got to think of a better name. It's more the issue.
What was the name I thought of that one day?
But then we looked it up, and they had a faggot-ass podcast.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, fuck them. I'm not even saying it.
Yeah.
No, those people suck.
I remember it. Yeah,
those
I'm not
people
saying it.
sucked. Yeah, I remember it now.
It's a good name.
Fuck them. Yeah, but fuck them.
They didn't even have the right premise of
I-
podcast for that name.
Every bullshit podcast out there now is just fucking four hair flipped Logan Paul
Yeah.
fags that are all like, oh, well, yeah, I totally,
I was talking about this one bitch on.
Yeah, I was talking to this bitch on Tinder and blah, blah, blah. I guess, I mean, we were talking about that, but we're funny.
Yeah, I don't get the girl though, so it's funny.
Yeah, it's funny. Yeah,
It's cool to talk
it's a
about that.
bit.
But
Sure, did someone send you tits and you thought it
Yeah.
would be funny to not respond? And it was.
it was funny.
It was funny.
It's such a.
It's a power move.
It's an enigma though, because it keeps getting funnier. The idea of texting her the longer you wait.
Yes.
So every time I think like now would be funny, I'm like, it's funnier to wait. Like,
Yeah. And you invite her over to the house.
hey, bitch.
Christen. Let's christen the house.
Hey, whore.
And we'll record it for a bit.
Yeah, for a goof.
Yeah.
Look at my black obsidian mirror.
Look into my black obsidian mirror. Ooh.
But bro,
Dick Delgado, black obsidian mirror enthusiast.
Dick Delgado, any type of mirror, glass, black glass,
Black. Blast.
blasphemer.
Blasphemy.
No, but so again, this could get blown out of the water pretty
It's
good.
serious.
And Aztecs obviously had that one game they played where like the winner died.
The Mayans. With the hoop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, you know, that ball, sidebar, just to talk about that now, that ball was made out of, like, pure rubber and would
Solid
have been
rubber.
too heavy to throw or kick up, and that hole is too small. So they don't even know how that game was played.
Mm.
They just know there was a ball involved and there was a hoop. So our brain assumes we just start drawing pictures of them.
Did they find the ball?
I think they found the ball of rubber.
I wonder if it would expand over time, and that's why it wouldn't fit.
I think either
'Cause I
way,
know-
it still would have been heavy as fuck, though.
Yeah. Yeah, solid rubber?
Right.
Fuck, you pick up a fucking tire, thing's heavy. Imagine that
Yeah.
condensed into a ball.
Yeah. But the thing that I was watching about Tartary that was just going over, like, okay, 1776 America, quick as hell stock exchange. All of a sudden, train, car,
Trains,
phone,
planes, automobile.
plane. Thank you.
Yes.
And in that brief little like summary, he was saying how soccer gets invented in like the 1800s, and then baseball, and then football, and then basketball. And he just was making the point of like, so are we to believe that for all this fucking time, like people just, what, like there was wrestling in Greece and that was that, and like
No one ever thought to, like...
play a game of sport? Like what are we, so
That is interesting.
again, I could be
Did those all start that soon?
I could be. Those apparently all started that soon. Boxing is 1800s. That's Queensberry. I mean, like, you know, boxing,
Yeah.
not fighting, but wrestling goes back forever. But that's not like a team sport.
Muay Thai goes back forever, right?
Muay Thai goes back to at least whenever the Thai and the Burmese were fighting, if I'm not mistaken, because I think Burma is now Myanmar.
What a time you would wish cameras to be alive.
That's one of my biggest daydreams, Mark, is just thinking about being in the Thai army.
Going to war barehanded.
Like I could like drool thinking about it.
You imagine? Everybody's got those fucking things on their arms. Those,
Like I guess you still kind of have to
ribbons.
worry about like people probably maybe like every few people probably has a blade on them. So you,
Listen, I'd keep a blade on me. If
I was
shit-
gonna
if shit
say,
started
yeah.
going south, I'm slitting a motherfucker's throat.
but I'm saying it's like a matter of like numbers. Like they don't have enough weapons for everyone.
Yeah.
So you still got to like be careful. Once like a dude, you're like, oh,
Once it's established that, like, oh, you don't have a weapon,
hey.
let's do it, bud.
And you just do that.
But now you're doing
75 times.
that, and you're doing that to death.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
It's not like you're not going to do it out and you're going next.
There's no feeling out process. You're not conserving energy for another round. Every fight is your last fight
Yeah.
until it's not, and then the next fight is now your last fight.
How exhausted you would be.
I mean, you got wife and kids at home.
That's what I mean.
Fuck
It
it.
kicks
You-
in. Fuck it. I'm going.
Dude, you know what's one of the most devastating things to watch in all of UFC and MMA is when in a pre-fight interview, a guy is saying how, like, I'm going in there and I'm fighting, like, my kids are on the other side of that
And they
octagon.
lose.
It is devastating to see that happen.
Yeah, I don't know
It's
why
almost worse than a guy getting knocked out in front of his kids, because
I
at least that,
I don't know why you would set that up like that, though. I
I
would
think-
never say things like that.
I think in their head, they're like,
Typing them up.
well, I think they're making it so, like, now they can't lose. You know what I mean? Like, but Joe Rogan always makes the point. It's like, you can't will yourself into fighting. You need a tremendous amount of will when, like, skill for skill, you're even.
Yeah.
Then will win. But you can't like, I could have all the will in the world. I could watch Dragon Ball Z and Ippo and fucking fire myself up. Anderson Silva would assassinate me. You know what I mean? Like, it's just one of
Yeah.
those things. I can't will myself into doing it. So I think those people thought they could, like, I'm going in there like my kids are on the other side.
I'm going to get hyped.
And then a clearly superior person defeats them.
Yeah.
But yeah. So I don't know about the sport thing, but it does
The
kind of just
Roman
go back
circus.
into, like, the revision of history to be like, we're the pinnacle. Like, everything
Yeah, it's
came
so
to
weird.
us.
Yeah.
It's like the Graham Hancock thing on a big scale. This is like that on a small scale with Tartaria, where it's like they really just put a fucking bow on things, like, before people started. Because, again, then you get a phone, after computers, and then now information.
Which it's almost like
It's hard to put a
people
plug on
like to
things
think
after
we
that.
started from hunter-gatherers and then got to where we are. And it's like, we did. Like, if you look at the graph, it's like, yes, we were here and we went whoop, and we're all the way up here.
Agree.
But then you zoom out of the graph, and then the graph gets a little longer, and then you see that it was like, it wasn't here to here. It was here to here to here to here to
Yeah,
here
like,
to here
when
to
you look
here.
at the graph big, it just looks like one big. But then when you zoom in, it's like, oh no, it wasn't straight after all. It did
No,
have
it's
a bunch
fucking
of
up, down. It's like oh, we're the pinnacle of where
It's a
we are,
staticky
and then a
line to the
fucking
top.
comet hits you, and you're like, cool, hunter gatherers again. Let's do this
Yeah,
for another
it's like a
2.
staticky one that then
Yeah.
plummets. And staticky
And then it's like we're gonna
one
keep going.
plummets.
Sure, we kept some info from back then. It's like I'm sure when that first woman or whatever, when like man was first like this form of
She knew about crystals.
yeah,
I'd listen to her YouTube show.
yeah, exactly. I was very confused, but like I'm sure though, like whatever form we're in now, when that was first established, what 200,000, 300,000, 400,000 years ago or some
I think
shit.
the thing I heard on Rogan was 700,000.
Yeah, 700,000 years at this point, and
They
it's
said
like
they found a microscopic fiber of thread in a footprint from like a fucking million years ago.
yeah. So it's like okay, I'm sure at that point we were at zero. That point we
Yeah.
were figuring shit
That's
out.
caveman.
That's here's fire. Cool.
Yeah.
Let's figure that
Fire,
out. Oh,
good.
hey, I made
Ooh,
a
fire bad.
I made a
Fire good.
wheel. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And then you learn those things, and you get up to a certain spot, and then a flood, cataclysm, bullshit happens, and now you go back to what you thought you were at. But then some people survived, and they remembered that shit. So now they teach these people. So now instead of starting at 0, you're starting at 10.
Yeah, you got head start.
Yeah, and
So
now
that head
you
start
go up a
kinda
little
keeps
more.
getting bigger
Yeah.
every reset.
And then an ice age happens. You go back down, but then some people survive, and now you're starting at 20. Now you're starting at 50. Now you're starting at 80.
And that's why
And that's why there's fucking jumps in technology.
And that's why there's these monuments, because people who keep giving this information, they go, okay, so clearly this is a thing that happens in cycles. In case humanity doesn't survive, and I'm not here to tell you this, we need to code this shit into the fucking.
yeah.
I mean, like the pyramid having all those goddamn numbers in it, where it's like,
It's the Earth.
Yeah, like all
It's
the earthly
literally-
numbers where it's
yeah.
like, good lord, like,
Yeah,
what
like
a
the
fucking.
like the height times whatever is the height of the planet, the width times whatever is the circumference of the planet. It's on the
got
center of
pi
the
in
Earth's
it.
Yeah.
It's got the Fibonacci thing in it. It's got the golden ratio in it. Maybe not Fibonacci. I think the golden ratio.
Yeah.
Or,
I think golden ratio, yeah. It's
Um,
lined up perfect because the Fibonacci sequence
It's
is
a
natural.
spiral,
That's
yeah.
natural, yeah.
pine cones Fibonacci.
Yeah.
Beautiful pine cones.
Beautiful pine cones and amazing. Have you looked at them recently? It's an amazing product.
Need black obsidian. Need pine cones.
It is hard to think about though because I was watching some shit and they were saying like you look at evolution and we evolved and you see like how it's like a fucking monkey and then he starts standing up more and he's like this and then it just ends with like a dude walking.
With a suit and a briefcase.
But then what you don't see is like
Sick.
they were talking that did happen. Like we did evolve up to a certain point. But then the gap from our brains to our closest ancestor is fucking like we're so much more smarter than them. And it's like, okay, but where's the middle ground between us and them?
Mm-hmm.
So where's that? And then like how did the mind expand that fast? And then they start talking about like what if there's and like if we try teaching our closest ancestor calculus or some bullshit, they're not going to fucking get it. Like they might get some basic shit, but they're not going to get it. So what's above us? Like the beings above us that have that jump that we have on those monkeys. If they try teaching us their shit, are we going to go, I don't fucking know. Like
Yeah.
what the fuck is that?
People have the good point, too. We always think when aliens show up, we're going to be like, whoa, like, how's your spaceship work? And that'd be like someone showing up here and being like, whoa, how's your car work? And I'm like,
I don't fucking know.
I don't know. I put gas in it. It fucking
The
goes.
dude at home built it.
Put the key in it.
Yeah,
like,
they bought it.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
don't fucking know. Just assume the alien's going to be able to be like, well, the propulsion, like, yeah. He's going to be like a gearhead about
Yeah.
his shit.
You ever see the movie Paul?
Nah, I don't think so.
It
was the Seth
Rogen one. It's great. You should watch it. But it's there's a part in that movie that gets my dick hard when he's debating this chick about like religion because she's super religious and she's like, "But you're a demon, blah blah blah," and he's like, At some point, he's like, man, fuck this. And he grabs her forehead and, like, transfers all of his knowledge of the universe into her head. And she, like, passes out and wakes up and goes, like, she's like, oh,
Sorry.
I get it. I'm sorry. Like, can you imagine that shit where it's just like, you just get everything at once?
Well, that's what they say, like, why they don't have mouths or they have really small mouths, the little grays, is because, like, you just keep evolving. It's us from the future. It's like bigger head, smaller body.
You really don't need a mouth if you're talking with telekinesis.
And then so much of our communication is nonverbal, but once you transcend speaking into telekinesis, it's like, well, now facial expression goes out the window too, so
It doesn't even
you
matter.
just need eyes to see at that point.
Yeah,
You don't need
big fucking eyes. Yeah.
to learn,
Yeah, to learn, to take in,
absorb information.
take in info.
Like a fly's eyes.
like a fly on a wall.
No, there's fucking reptilians I've heard about. There's insectoid, underground. I mean,
Jordan Peterson called Elon Musk a reptilian. You see that?
really?
Yeah. He's like, he's probably, I mean, what he does, it's amazing. He's probably an alien. And then the guy he's talking with starts going like, yeah, you know, that is true. And then he starts going into something else, and he cuts him off and goes, or a reptilian. I don't know. He could be anything. Blah, 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 blah.
That's when you know Peterson's been compromised.
Yeah, like, what
It's
the
like, brother, get back to the fucking real books.
Yeah, get back to the shit. Like,
Leave the reptilian stuff to me, okay? I'll handle that. You get back to psychology. That's more your bag.
yeah,
man.
you have a doctorate in psychology.
You barely was able to handle the Bible without fucking losing your goddamn mind.
And by the way, I'm sick of this Bible talk.
Bro, he just says anything. It's like when you're a kid and you could be like, and I think that when Jesus, he said this, I think he meant this. It's like, all right, cool. Yeah. Jordan Peterson, you've done it again.
Oh my God.
You ever see his daughter?
No. Smoke show?
Probably a little bit of an overestimation, but it's pretty good.
I bet she knows too much about the human brain, and she would pick your brain apart and, like, work you like a
I think
puppet.
she thinks she knows too much about the human brain, and then she talks to someone like Shane Gillis, who is like,
Ma'am, there's no getting into this shell.
I'm a steel trap.
Yeah. There's no getting into this.
No, she has a podcast, and she had Matt and Shane on, and they were like, fucking both on Zoom, just like clearly like pretty hungover, like, hey,
Hey there.
Michaela Peterson, like,
So you have a show now.
all right. They were nice, obviously,
Yeah.
but they knew it was weird.
That is interesting. Once we get in the studio, we start doing interviews.
Some Zoom calls,
Get some
with
Zoom
some
call-
experts.
Some Zoom calls in. Really find out about this fucking Obsidian.
Black Obsidian would be a good rap name.
Black Obsidian. Yeah. White Quartz. The
Easy.
rap duo. And it's two white guys.
Like every good rap dude. the classic recipe for success
Bad meets evil.
is white and black.
What?
That's Eminem and Royce da 5'9".
Yeah.
Royce da 5'9's a black guy.
Yeah, that's a rap group. Yeah, like that's
You
true.
said two white guys.
That is true.
When
yeah. Two white guys. Are there two white rappers?
In a rap group
Run the
together?
Jewels? No, that's a black guy.
Killer Mike.
Yeah, that's a black guy.
Yeah. Jesus.
I don't know any rap duos that are white. You almost can't do it.
That's what I'm saying.
No, it's impossible.
Well, that makes this announcement all the more exciting. Mixtape drops tomorrow.
Mixtape drops next week. We're gonna bust out Zach's music making machine.
Did the Funky Bunch have another white guy?
The Funky Bunch.
Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch.
I don't know. I
I
never
think it
listened.
was-
I don't even know what that is, to be honest with you.
It's the song that in Blades of Glory,
People would say that to me.
Will Arnett and Amy Poehler danced to bring forth the rhythm and the rhyme. That's
Marky Mark.
Feel the vibrations.
No shit.
Come on, come on.
Damn, really?
But I think it's him and four black guys. So
That's interesting.
yeah. Listening to Marky Mark back in the day talk is crazy.
I really don't like Mark Wahlberg, if we're being honest.
I
I don't like him in serious roles, I think.
I love The Fighter. It's a great movie.
I haven't seen that one. I really liked him in Ted. He was funny in the other guys.
He is funny in both those movies.
I watched Lone Survivor. There's some
Dude,
good fight
you like
scenes.
Christian Bale.
Yeah,
Watch The Fighter.
The Fighter.
Dude, he's a dude from England and he plays a fucking Boston crackhead.
Yeah, Christian Bale's disgusting. He's crazy.
Dude,
He's an insane, like, his talent.
the way he does, like the way he leans like a crackhead, where he
Yeah.
just like is like doing crack dances, like
He's like full-blown method actor, though.
yeah, what
Right?
if he smoked crack?
Maybe. Look it up. You know that movie Vice? It was made by, what's his face? Adam McKay.
Yeah,
Um,
who did all the Will Ferrell movies? I think.
did you know he made that movie The Big Short? That's a movie he made
don't know if
before
I knew
Vice. And that was about,
The stocks and stuff.
yeah, it was about the crash in 08. I keep meaning to watch it. I didn't realize he made it. I didn't realize it was the same guy. Did Christian Bale smoke crack for The Fighter? Probably. Christian Bale lost weight. Christian Bale had jokes that he did a lot of coke to lose weight. I could see that. I don't see them doing crack. I feel like they're all doing some sort of amount of coke.
What a fucking conversation between you and your agent, where he's like, Christian, don't even ask. He's like, there's nothing to talk about. I'm Christian Bale, baby. Like, this is what I do. I'm method.
I'm method, baby. This is what I do.
Get me the crack. Christian, I know you have a lot of willpower.
Christian, you got kids.
I know you have a lot of strong constitution. A lot of people don't come back after smoking crack. They just keep smoking crack. It's really good.
Well, those people aren't Christian Bale.
Bring me the crack.
Give me the crack.
Listen,
Christian, you got kids.
you
got
can
a
either
wife.
bring me the crack, or I'll take the cocaine I have on me and make crack with it.
Yeah. Call Freebase, baby.
Okay. Don't.
Christian, I'll get you the crack.
I'll get the crack.
I'll get the crack. I'm so sorry. And you're going to do it with me, Chuck.
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up. Dude, that's my favorite. Shut the Smoke crack with me. Smoke crack
I
with me.
love that scene. Shut the fuck up.
We're going to run.
Fucking lions.
Tigers and bears. We're going to fucking run.
No, that scene is great. Shut the fuck up.
No, I want to, like, part of me wants to, like,
Smoke crack.
have one night like that where it's like, just, we got to fucking go. Cause I've gotten like
crack
when
would
I've
be fun, probably.
I don't know what that high's like,
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's not really an upper.
and it's not a downer. Downers scare me.
Just a fun time
Yeah.
drug.
Because I've gotten to a point where I've snorted a lot of Adderall, like too much for one day, and I was like, and then you slam a Monster or a Red Bull, and I remember
Smart.
grabbing my buddy Sam when we were working on overnight at Depot. This one he called me Coke Mark. He said I'd morph into a new band. And I would grab him and I'd go.
Instead of a full moon, it's just you choosing to do something.
I would like he'd be doing shit and I'd like grab him and go, I need you to fucking spot me.
Your full moon was a fucking
a
powdered
pile,
up- yeah.
a pile of fucking
White
orange,
powder.
no orange Adderall. No, that was the weird part.
blood moon.
Yeah, Adderall's orange, and you'd have like orange rings around your nose. My buddy Neil would be like, "Man, check the pipes. What are you doing? You can't fucking come out of the bathroom with that shit. You gotta fucking."
I feel good.
No, walking at a speed like walking faster than I would be running.
Walking like you're moving on the moving walkway.
Yeah,
Like you're just
but feeling good to a point where it's like, man, I'm hitting these strides. Like I'm walking in like formation.
Yeah, no, I don't like that. I like to be
Now you like the
I like
hey,
to feel like
hey,
I'm
no, here's yours.
I like to feel like I'm swinging back and forth on a hammock that's made of clouds, and the hammock keeps getting lower and lower and lower, and then all of a
And then
sudden
you
I'm
fucking
like,
die.
"Ha!"
Where are you going? Oh yeah,
Ah, yes, the Sphinx.
yeah. Now I like that like fucking like fucking go.
No, I hate that. What do you want all that energy for?
Because then I feel in my head, I always think there's shit to do, and I always think I'm not doing enough. So like when I sit down on the couch, I feel like I'm not doing anything. So I feel like when I do that, I still don't do anything, but I move around a lot.
I no longer feel like
yeah,
I'm not doing feels like I'm getting
because
a lot done.
everything feels like a monumentous task. But no, my issue is that I start something and then I see something else and I go, let me start that, and then I start that and I go, well, what about this thing? And I go, well, let me go back to that, and I start doing this again. And they say it's ADHD, but what even is that? It's all a fucking construct of bullshit they're pumping into us.
I was gonna say, you wonder where the line is, because it's like, people always joke like, oh yeah, well, if you were like that back in my day, you know, they just told you to like sit the fuck down, and it's like, yeah, like obviously kids get hyper and stuff, but like I wonder how much, because I think things like autism were probably easier to say like weren't really a thing back in the day. I think autism is like pretty
I could see that being
new development.
Yeah.
And
especially to a point where like there's so much of a spectrum where you can't really put your finger on like that's what that is.
Yeah. And the only thing that's weird about autism is that it affects dudes so much more than women.
That's what Christian said. She said
in an astounding amount.
She said it affects dudes a lot more because women can mask it. They're better at masking.
Well, I would say that's probably true on the side of autism. That's like
once you get to a certain point.
Because like whenever I would go to things from my brother, I can remember my mom telling me once, and then like realizing it and noticing it from that point. All these things, you'd maybe see like one girl there, and it would suck because, you know, you're usually now put in a class with all of these. So now you're just like, you don't have like a clique or whatever, because like it's just dudes or whatever. Everyone's already socially awkward to begin with as autistic people. So then it's like, at least if someone was a girl, you have like you might have a thing in common or whatever. But like every dude in there is like playing with cars and shit, and you're like, fuck. So, yeah. So that was my mom brought it up as far as like funding and stuff too. Like a lot of the funding goes towards like more boy centric things, because that's like what's going to get so much more stuff done. It's hard to like sell someone on the idea of getting something for a girl where it's like it's only going to be for that one kid in the class.
Yeah. And in the end, it's like, how even good is the tree? Like if they had more money and more funding and more, like if they weren't spending $900 billion on a defense budget, would there, like I had this argument with my buddy where I was like, why don't they cut the defense budget? And my buddy's like, you can't fucking cut the fucking defense. We need the military. We need this. And I'm like, no.
Yeah, this is Thomas.
I'm like, no. The defense budget is like $900 billion. The entire U.S., which is number one, the entire U.S. like education system's funding is like $60 billion or like $40 billion, and it's like, okay, that's what they're doing now. Imagine you take $50 billion out of that $800 billion, and you cut some bullshit you're not really doing, and now you're taking so little out of the defense budget, but now you're doubling the education budget.
Isn't that going to make your army better eventually? Because you're going to have smarter people. You're going to have
smarter people. Now imagine if you took $100 billion and just said, no, we're going to do $120 billion for the education system. How leaps and bounds we would probably fucking jump.
Yeah, but why do that when the system's working just fine? Got a bunch of people just fucking
because the education system made by those same fucking people.
And then every institution. That's another thing I want to deep dive after finding out about University of Chicago ties to Rockefeller. Because then it was like, yeah, banks, like town halls and stuff, these are like the buildings that have that look to them. And then schools. So I'm like, interesting. Maybe I'll look into some other institutions. Because churches, what other four things would you like to invade? Money, education, worship,
and media. You control the media, and then you control the education. The media is telling you to do one thing, and now you have your fucking, because the media is telling you that you're not doing something right, the school system's telling you you're not doing something right, so now you have that Christian guilt. You go to, if like you go to a Christian university, they make you take classes. So now you're even in that, so they're hitting you from every fucking angle.
Now the colleges are banging you over the head for tuition.
Bro, even like there's so much of a debate right now with that like critical race theory shit.
Mm-hmm.
You heard about that? They're teaching.
Yeah,
it's like
it's almost like what we were saying before about like the Blue Lives Matter thing. That like I don't think everyone understands it.
They don't.
When they're saying it.
Because I took
just
the
this
fucking
confusion.
class. Yeah, I was forced to take the class at DePaul, and like you hear the one side. We had to write a paper about why this is a good class and how how those people were crazy. No, it was fucking insane. But no, like the people on the right go, oh, they're just teaching you that the white race is bad and blah, 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 blah. And then the other side goes, no, they're teaching you that this race is good and this race did this and blah, 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 blah. But they're not looking down the middle at the issue, and it's that they're just bringing race into everything. I took this fucking class, and it was a mixture of every race, denomination of religion. There was Jewish people, Christian people. There was fucking Asians, black, white, Indian, whoever the fuck was in that class. And by the end of it, the class was so divided in their own like sections and groups where people were just fucking arguing with each other. And it's like, oh, so we start this class 10 weeks ago and everybody's friends. We can all have open discussions. And now we end this class with fuck you. You're a fucking asshole. No. You know what? I was right because
you're full of shit.
Yeah. You're full of shit. This is bullshit. And it's like, oh, I don't know. They just brought race in every. It's like that. It's also like that diversity in cinema class I took. They like ruin these movies because they have to bring race in everything. And it's like, no, you don't have to write racism into a movie, and they didn't. It was just fucking 1960, and black people didn't get as big of a role as they do now. That's just how it fucking happened. Ferris Bueller's Day Off was this big racist movie because there isn't enough representation. It's like, no. John Hughes grew up in the rich part of Chicago. He wrote about kids from the rich part of Chicago.
Well, that's the thing.
Who's in the fucking rich part of Chicago? It's all fucking white people.
That's the thing I always want to flip on them, too, where it's like, okay. You wanted people to be... You're saying that this is a racist movie. Yeah. You wanted them to be more inclusive. But you also... Then I know this from comic books especially. I don't know how much prevalent it was in movies. I assume it's the same way. You don't want a white guy telling a black guy how to talk, right?
No.
So
he's going to write a black dude?
So it's like you said, it's the 60s or whatever back in the day when these racist movies are happening. Black people aren't getting the opportunities to direct. You're right. That is wrong that the people in charge of the studios or whatever are making that decision. That is bad. But okay, white directors in place. He has the opportunity to now cast black people, but he's too fucking scared to tell, have the black guy talk too black. That was the thing with Luke Cage. The people complained about not having enough black characters. Chris Claremont took time away from writing the hottest book at the time, Uncanny X-Men, wrote Luke Cage Hero for Hire, and the people were like, you made him sound like that's not how black people talk, because he had him walking around. And
he's like, no shit, I'm a fucking white guy.
Yeah, from like fucking Westchester, New York.
Yeah, no shit.
That's
why I didn't write this book.
He's from England. I'm sorry. He's from the UK.
The original racist.
Yeah, like
it's like, what the fuck?
He would have Luke Cage walking around being like, "Sweet Christmas," which it's not even racist necessarily. It's just like stereotypical when you don't have a lot of other black characters representing like not everyone talks
and
like
why
that.
did he write this book? Why did he write this book?
Because there wasn't enough black characters.
Does he have ownership of that shit?
No, you don't own shit in comics.
Okay, so why? So maybe he wasn't writing it because he was gonna wait for the next black dude to come up and be like, I want to write Luke Cage, and it's like, yes, you should write Luke Cage. That's your shit.
And that dude,
and not to make it fucking like separate or anything, but it's like, no, you would give the best voice to that character because you would have like the little insights and like that's why Friday's so good. And the dude just wrote his neighborhood.
But then clearly on the flip side, no one's upset when a black person writes Captain America. You go, sure, fucking, you're a good writer. Like,
yes.
So
Cap should say the N-word.
Yeah.
It was the 40s.
But no, yeah, no.
Times were tough in the Depression. They were taking jobs.
Yeah, they were taking jobs.
But no, you know who Ta-Nehisi Coates is?
No.
He's a African. I don't know if he's American with an African name, or if he's actually African.
Yeah.
But he's like a journalist, and Marvel brought him in to write Black Panther after the Black Panther movie, and everyone like decided like, oh yeah, I should buy a dashiki again. Like it's the
Yeah.
fucking 70s when we were like Afrocentric movement, and like
And I buy one and I'm an asshole.
I think it looks like a cool thing to wear.
I would
I'm
fucking wear
into
it.
fucking tunics and shit.
Yeah.
That's what my lifestyle's about.
Yeah, stay tuned.
Goddamn
for,
kimono.
Stay tuned for when we have those on in the next episode. Keep going.
So then Marvel, being the money-grubbing fucking corporate Disney cocksucking fucks they are like, oh, black people like a thing now? Bring in a guy with an African name to
Yeah.
write the story about Wakanda. And it's like, Christopher Priest was a black guy who wrote Black Panther in the 2000s, and he kind of like urbanized him. And it's like, Black Panther is from Africa, went to school in Oxford, England, and then moved to America. He doesn't have any like street slang to him.
No.
So if a white guy decided to make, Black Panther, black guy, yeah, I'll probably have him like with a trench coat on and shit,
Yeah.
like is what happened. It'd be a fucking big deal. But Christopher Priest did it, and it was like, oh, well, he knows what's best. And it's like, I don't get this. Chris Claremont, when he made Luke Cage, was writing X-Men, which is the most diverse book of all time. The thing with giant-size X-Men, when they revamped it, was to have Banshees from Scotland, Warhawk is Native American, Storm is Egyptian, Nightcrawler's German, Wolverine's Canadian.
Yeah.
Like, it's literally, that's
the best
the deal.
of the world.
So the guy who was allowed to write that was like, okay, I've been doing an okay job. It's the best-selling book in comics, me writing different voices of characters. I've already been writing Storm, a black. Maybe I'll try my hand.
I'll write a black guy.
But it's not a fucking college professor. He's a street tough ex-con.
Yeah.
Why is it bad that he's saying sweet Christmas? Like,
Yeah, who cares?
but apparently it was fucking racist. Blade's niece didn't get that book that time because they protested it for not having a black writer, and then the book didn't come out
No, it's so
because
fucked
that
up.
white writer is who wanted to write it. That's why the book was coming out. Marvel didn't give
It's
a
almost
fuck.
like the issue now is that people are writing shit to appease everyone and not just writing what it is and like its original, like in its form. Like you said, Black Panther grew up in Africa, went to Oxford, England, back to Africa, U.S.
My favorite customer, Rob, a black dude, mad as hell that they gave him an African accent in the movies. He talks with an English accent. He
He's
went to
British.
school in Oxford.
Yeah.
So what are we doing? Black dude.
Yeah.
Like, it's not me being like, fucking bro. Yeah.
So, I am Black Panther.
My name is T'Challa.
I went to school in England.
It's like, yeah, if he's speaking African or
Yes.
Wakandan, he might have that accent. But when he's
Yes.
speaking English, he speaks with a British accent because that's the version of the language
That's
he
not
knows.
right, man.
Yeah.
No. We're not giving
Colonizer.
Yeah, you fucking asshole.
That's what's so funny about the critical race theory class is like you're gonna have a whole class about some shit that obviously you were in it, not me, but I feel like at any point we'll never have like a real discussion about where I can like get you in a corner about it. Like we're always gonna dance around things.
There was never, like every now and then, like someone would bring up well, here's something edgy, and but it's like that doesn't do anything because you're doing it to attack that dude. You're saying that
You get into a pissing
you're
contest
saying
and
that
not
when
a
that
debate.
cop killed that black dude, things would be different if he was a white guy. That's what your point
Mhm.
is. But that point does nothing
except
to
now
anything.
disgruntle these people,
But yeah, from now that guy is pissed off at you.
and everyone only has like half a point when they're saying it, so it just
Yeah.
devolves down.
And
it's
half
not
the people are like halfway scared to say it, so they mumble through half of
Mhm.
it, get their point out, and it's like, oh, well, not great. We'll start a fucking argument
Yeah.
now. No,
probably
it's bullshit.
you probably gotta go.
Yeah.
Well,
Hey,
another
almost an hour and a half on the Stone Date pod.
another educational.
Yeah, we didn't do anything fun. We
We need to change this We need to like go in from and change the setting from comedy when we do these episodes. It doesn't deserve the comedy.
It's not comedy.
Tag.
No, it's just us talking about fucking
Rich history.
history. This is a history podcast. But yeah, I don't know. Like, subscribe, normal bullshit. We'll see you
Bamboo
fuckers
curtain.
later.
Yes.